Hi, Russ here. Hey, welcome back to my shop. I'm sitting here at my workbench and I'm going to talk about teaching an old dog new tricks. And no, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about bench dogs and bench dog holes. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, whoopee-doo. Bench dog hole. Okay, what else is there? Well, actually, there's a lot. First off, this. If you put that in there and you want that to be exactly one place, sometimes your dog holes aren't quite what you want them to be. And that's kind of hard for that to stay. So what I've done is on all of these dog holes on this bench, I've actually drilled a hole straight in to my dog hole. And here I used a 1/4-inch bolt with a wood wing nut on it. Here I used set screw, 1/4-inch set screw. And I used an Allen to adjust it. And what I do is I can put this in here, adjust it to the height I want, and then snug that down just very so lightly. And now it's the height I want. If it's not quite there, I can loosen it up, adjust it to exactly where I want it, snug it down, and now it's the right height no matter what, and it doesn't move on me. So this locks that bench dog down like you want. So set screws are the new idea. I've never seen anybody doing it, but boy, it does work nicely having that. So now that we have these, and we have these, we have to have this. This is just the simple Allen wrench that fits those set screws. And all I did was take a 3/4-inch dowel and I slotted it and made the slot exactly the width of my Allen and dropped it in place. And then I glued 2 strips of wood, one on each side, to hold it in place. And it sticks out on one side. So now I have a T for tight set screws still. I can use this and use this as a T, quite frankly, to really get some leverage, to tighten and loosen something. Most of the time, this is all I need is this. This gives me extra leverage with my thumb if I really want to be able to have some torque. But basically, I slip that into there, and now I can take my bench dog and put it in the hole. And when I snug this down, it stays in place. And I picked a bad bench dog to do this with. Oh. Okay. Bad dog, bad. So, I can put that in there and lock it down with this instead of with this. And this allows me to unlock and lock it easily. When I'm not using it, I can just set it in the dog hole so that it's available to anywhere around my bench for any of these set screws. So, this in conjunction with the set screw gives me a really nice locking capabilities, but yet all my bench dogs are actually pretty much what you want that to be, nice and loose so you can put it where you want it and lock it down. Now what else can you do with this bench dog and bench dog hole? Well, you've already seen my T-track setup where you can attach bench dogs to the T-track and attach it to your top. That was a previous video. So there's another thing you can do with bench dogs. I have this. I use this for a little tool tray. Drop it into my bench dog anywhere I'm working, and I can keep my tools up off my bench or my little parts so that all the chips and everything, and I have to get the back down and do a quick clean. Important stuff is up off the bench, so I don't have to worry about it getting sucked away. So I use this, and I can put it in any place around the bench I want to use it. So it makes it nice and versatile. This one in particular, I actually use for this. And when I'm having a bad nose day, this thing is always near wherever I'm working. So it's nice to be able to move this around and use it when you need it. Paper towels. I have this up above my workbench, 3/4-inch dowel. And this goes into the hole up there. And then my paper towels, I can pull them off I can take and pull them off one at a time. But you also can take this off of there, bring it over close to where you're working if you need a lot of them. And now it's within arm's reach again to be able to use your paper towels. And when I'm done, I can put it back up there. So you can use it for paper towels too. What else? You can do magnets. I have little round magnets. I buy these at Harbor Freight. Put dowels on them with a little screw down the center. And you can drop them into your dog holes. And now you have a place to put little screws and things like that while you're taking something apart or putting it together. They can help hold your stuff for you, which is nice. And they're ready to use without them being scattered all over your bench. If you want, you can take the magnets. This is just a biscuit tray. You can use a meatloaf pan. You can take one of these and cut it down so you have a 2-place and a 4-place, so you have 2 of them. And then when you're ready, you just take and stick it right on your magnets, and this will stay there for you to load up as much stuff as you want on it off of your bench. Your tools and everything, your little screws, and everything is right there. And when you're done, you can take, put this away, ready to be used. And your magnets, you can put away somewhere, and I keep them close on my bench somewhere to be used when needed. So, magnets are very handy to keep around. What about tools? Well, I made this a couple years ago. It's a piece of ash. And I used it as a hammer. Used a 3/4 inch dowel, and I made it a little smaller in here so it fits into the hole really loose, always. And up here it gets bigger so that it only drops in the hole so far. That keeps it off my table so I can see it. Whatever dog hole it's in, anywhere, I can see this. So I can find it real easy. That's why I tend to go to it, because it's easy to find. And I really like it. I made one like this, which is like the carver style. But also, I drop it into my bench dog. This one I designed to drop all the way. And if I lock my down, I have a nice little anvil area here to be used. So I'm probably going to make another little table too, I think, with dog that I can lock in. So I have this real sturdy little table, like an anvil type thing maybe. So makes it easy to attach a nice little anvil. And other tools. How about tools pre-existing? When I'm not using this hammer, I'm using this one. Nail driving, things like that. Really heavy, taking something apart, I use this. But while I'm using it, I put a little dowel in there so that I can set that into a dowel, and it just sits there and waits for me to grab it, use it. When I'm done, I can stick it back there until I need to grab it and put it down and pick it up. It's not on my bench. It's where I can easily see it and grab it. When I'm done, I hang it back up on my tool board where it belongs. That dowel doesn't interfere with anything. So you can actually put those bench dogs right on your tools to be used when you're at your workbench. Very handy. Tools. Here's my chisel rack. You've seen this. So what I did, while it was mounted on the tool board, I drilled a 3/4 inch hole here. Then when I take it off, I bring it over to my workbench, and now I can put a bench dog in that hole, and now it becomes a nice little stand for my chisels. You can do this with screwdriver sets and different things like that. You've seen the rack already where everything is magnetic, so now I can use it here. When I'm done, I can take it back over to where it hangs on the wall on the tool board, put the dowel in from the front, and let it come out the back just a tiny bit. Put that up there, push that into that hole that you drilled, and that will line up your 2 screws so you can put them back in real quick, pull your out, and then this is fastened to the wall exactly where it needs to be until the next time you want to pull it off and put it on your bench. So this is easy to take on and off your tool board and put it on your workbench with a bench dog. So I make these things up, and I have a bunch of them. I always keep them all over because I find myself using them, various sizes, and I find myself using them for all sorts of different things around the shop. This is my heat gun. Say, what? Why the heck would you need a bench dog for a heat gun? Well, this thing gets pretty hot. So I made this holster thing for it, PVC pipe, and it sets in there and block. And when it's not in use, the plug, I just wrap it up and stick it there to hold it. And it's at an angle, so the hot air comes out here. So when I turn it off, it takes about a minute or so for it to shut down completely. So this way I don't have to hold it. But what else it does is I can take a regular bench dog into this hole that I drilled, and I can line it up to a bench dog hole and put it in there. And now, when it blows air, it blows it onto the floor instead, so that it does not get all over on things on my bench or blow things around. And I can set it down for a minute if I want and do something, and then get back, grab it again, and continue to use it. When I'm done, I can put it up here, turn it off, and it can run for another minute. The air blows out away from me, so I don't get burnt from the hot air, and it sits there until it's done. When it's done, take it off the bench dog, off of it, put my cord in there. This is ready to be put back on the shelf and store away. So, bench dog hole to hold my tools. I want to do something very similar to that, I think, pretty quickly here with my hot gun and my glue gun, I mean. And I'm going to try to get that for a nice little plate that I can then put here, use it, and when I'm done, lift it off and put it away. But it holds it nice and sturdy when it's here just by one bench dog. So I think using this type of platform to hold your stuff, I have another example of that also. This is the one I like the most. But I had this plate right here. And what this plate is this hole fits my tripod upper part. It drops into this hole, and it's the same size as the hole on my tripod that I dropped the top in. And I always had my computer / camera mounted in the upper mechanism of this tripod. But the tripod is not the best thing to have it on. It's too bulky, it takes up floor space, and it's not very stable. It can fall over. That would be devastating to my laptop, my Surface. So I got a bench dog hole here. This hole here, then you put that into the bench dog hole, and now I can take my tripod and drop it in there, and this is never going to fall off because the shaft is sticking down, and this thing can never fall off of here. So no matter what, I'll never knock my camera over or off the bench. And I can take this and put this anywhere I want. Wherever I put it, doesn't matter. Once I put it in, it stays put. So it's nice and safe to carry my computer / camera around. Great little item for doing that sort of thing in the shop. So next time when I come back, I'm going to show you now how to make consistent dog holes, how to use this locking set screw mechanism on the inside holes on your workbench. Rather than just the outside, you can go in this way. But now I'm going to show you how to do locks on interior dog holes too. And I'll show you how to drill your hole with nothing more than a paddle bit, hand drill, and a jig. They'll come out perfect size and exactly perpendicular to your work surface every time, so that you can put a dog hole anywhere you want, anytime you want. It only takes you a couple minutes, no big deal with this setup. So you come back and we'll go over all that. In the meantime, I want to thank you for stopping by. If you like this video, please say so. You know somebody that'd be interested in it, share it with them. And most importantly, if you have any comments or suggestions or ideas that you've done with them, I would like to hear it. So give me a holler. In the meantime, I'm going to take off. You come back again, and thank you for stopping by to begin with. Talk to you soon.